Alright, child. I'm inserting this clip because it is now Friday and I still did not upload this video. And I just want y'all to know that just rewatching this video makes me feel a bit emotional. And I realized that I'm being vulnerable, and I promise that I am going to be vulnerable when it comes to these topics. And rewatching this video made me realize how vulnerable I am. So just please bear with me. I'm speaking about stuff that I feel like it's still hurting me, things that I'm still learning. So I've been a little bit afraid of uploading the video. But if you are watching this, then that means your girl did it. And if you're watching this, just, I don't know, drop some, you go girl, drop some motivation in the comments, because if you seen this, then that means I did it. And I'm proud of me. And girl, I'm proud of you too. I'm proud of us. I'm proud of us. So I see ya. Hey guys, welcome to my channel. What's up? What's up? What's up? Hey y'all, welcome to Table It with Ty. My name is Ty, and on this channel we're talking about the heavy stuff. I want to be as vulnerable as possible, and I want my viewers to have an open mind. I'm bringing a lot of things to this platform that I'm holding dearly, and yeah, the girls was just here. The girls and the guys is here to hail, and that's what we're doing. We're hailing from the things that's weighing us down. So anyways, without further ado, please just let's get into the video. The first topic that we're going to talk about is emotions. So let's get into it. I feel like my emotions are really important to me as a person. That's why I want to talk about it first, because I feel like when it comes to making decisions and when events happen, when life happens, the first thing I resort to is my emotion. So before I start getting into any other topic on this channel, I want to talk about the first thing I resort to, and that's my emotion. I consider myself to be a very emotional being. My family, I would say, they are emotional beings. I realize that emotions manifest differently, because when I looked at the meaning of emotion, it does not, crying is an element of emotion, but it's not the only thing that makes you emotional because you cry. It is the feeling. It can be negative and it can be positive, but either way, crying is not the only reason why you're emotional. It's the fact that you feel something. And even if people want to stray away from that and hide from that, like they don't feel like they don't have, emotion, you do. We all feel something. So there's all a point in time where all of us are emotional. So I believe that my family is very emotional. The way I would see my family handle conflicts, it would be so hard. And I would say that it didn't take me until up to a point in my life when I start realizing that things do not always have to be that way. So the first thing people resort to is arguing and cussing and fighting and things like that. So yeah. And I realized, like, sidebar, that I can't be mad at them because they don't know any better. But I always feel like I'm not the same as my family. Like, people that I grew up around, I feel like I never had connections with them in a sense because I don't see the world that they do. Yes, I was a child, and but I always feel like I could see beyond anything. And it's not like, as a kid, of course, like the way I'm saying it to you right now, you're probably like, nah, as a kid you're not thinking that. But I promise you, it didn't come out like that. But I knew that there was a world beyond everything that I was experiencing. So I always thought that I was different, so I acted differently. I never found myself resolving conflict the way my family do. And I'm not trying to act like I'm better than anyone, because I am not. I'm not better than anyone, and I'm not trying to pinpoint fingers at anyone to make people feel bad, or that is not what I'm trying to do. We're just having a conversation. So yes, how people would deal with their emotions, I would deal with it differently. I would cry a lot. I used to get called wicked because I cry about everything. But I realized that, and when I say wicked, I mean, I'm gonna tell y'all what they said. They were like, "Oh, wicked people alone, bad, 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 bad. So wicked people alone, bad." So I heard that. I heard that saying all my life. All of my life, people constantly said that to me. So I grew up in a sense where it's like I disregarded my emotions. Sometimes I don't want to cry, but I do, like the tears. The tears just flow. I don't want to cry. So yes, as a kid, that's what I was referred to as a lot when I start crying. But I didn't talk much. Now that I think about it, I feel like the conversations and the things that I wanted to say, I wasn't able to speak to my family. You know, there was a lot. Like, I feel like I was a very observant kid. Certain things that you would think that children didn't see, I saw it. I just didn't say anything. But I really needed to talk. Like, I wanted somebody to talk to. I wanted to tell somebody what I was feeling. And I feel like at some point in time, I was ready and I was willing to say something and speak up about certain things. And probably I went to the wrong person, and that person drove that out of me. And I'm not saying one specific person, but I'm just saying whoever I went to when I was in that headspace of talking, and they probably told me to be quiet or say something differently, but that shut me down. So I felt like if I cannot express myself with words because I'm scared to talk around y'all, I can't say nothing, like, what else am I supposed to do? So crying was my only resort. Like, I remember getting in trouble sometimes, sorry, as a child, and yeah, they were like, "Oh, why did you do this?" or "Why did this happen?" And people would question me, and I would just stand there and I would just cry. Sometimes, like I said, I'll try to explain myself, but then I'm like, I just I get caught up in this whirlpool of trying to explain myself. Like, it's like a cycle going over and over again. It's like you're a kid, like, so why would we believe you? But yeah, I was very much in tears. I went through life, labeling myself, calling myself emotional. Like, if me and you have a conversation and you know me, like, I'm always telling people I'm an emotional person. I have big emotions. I feel a lot. So I remember I got into like a very serious relationship at some point in my life. And man, one of the things I struggled with was speaking up and having a voice. And like I said, when I was reflecting on this conversation, I went back to the beginning, family. I realized like a lot of times when I wasn't able to talk as a child and I resort to like my emotions and crying and things like that, I brought that same thing into my adulthood. It just manifested differently. I was in a relationship and I felt like I had no voice. I felt like my emotions didn't matter. And a lot of times I realized I was projecting on that person because I wanted something that I was missing from my childhood. I realize, especially now that speaking to y'all, I realize that being in a relationship, as old as I am, there's still that little girl that wants somebody to tell her it is okay to feel the way she do. Big or little, no matter what the situation is, I want somebody to tell me it is okay to feel the way you do. I would get on defense mode when I would have a conversation with this person and they would say, "Oh, it is not that serious," or "You don't have to react that way," or da 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 da. Even if it's just not that person, it's just throughout my life, the people that I have experiences with, and you react to me like that. The first thing I get on is defense mode because now I'm feeling like I'm that little girl again. I'm that little girl again where I'm crying and people are telling me to shut up because it's only a wicked cry that much. I'm that little girl again. And like I said, it took me being out of a relationship and start reflecting on a lot of things for me to realize I was projecting on this person. It is normal for you to have your opinion about what somebody else is feeling. It's normal for you to have opinion, especially if you're in a relationship with someone. I felt like a lot of times the person wasn't saying something wrong, it was just how they worded it, and it brought me right back to my childhood. But I also want to draw away from that conversation about, even if someone is expressing something to you, listen. Don't tell them it's not that serious. You don't know what's going on in someone else's head. Don't make them feel, no, not even make them feel, that's a wrong couple words. Don't push on your emotions and your opinion on that person. Sit with them, listen to them. Most of the time people are expressing themselves to you, they don't want your opinion and they don't want your advice. They want somebody to listen to them. So listen. Don't push nothing else on them. I realize I have a lot to deal with. I have a lot of letting go to do. I have a lot of healing to do. And I can't always put that on people. So yeah. I learned that, it is okay for me to be emotional. Some days I want to sit in my tears, and that is perfectly fine. And I will never go back to the space where I'm making someone make me feel. I make someone make me feel that being emotional, that sitting in my emotion is not okay. It is okay to sit with your feelings and know what you're feeling. The issue comes in when you sit in it for too long and nothing happens. Don't sit in it for too long. And also, I learned to not trap myself in the "you make me feel." Those words, you make me feel. I had to escape from that, and I'm still trying. I had to escape from that when it comes to my family, my relationship, my friendships. That you make me feel. Nobody made me feel no way. Nobody made you feel like that. You made you feel like that. People act, things happen, but nobody made you feel like that. You made you feel like that. Because I realize in a lot of times that things do happen, but it's your reaction to that. How are you taking that? That's all up to you. The person done did what they did. But how you gonna react to that? How you gonna make that situation change you? And then I had to come to the conclusion that my emotion is my best gift. Yeah, I came from a space of hating my emotion. I didn't want to be emotional. At some point in time, I always thought that I was weak. I look at myself in the mirror crying and I hated it. Because I'm like, girl, why are you crying? Nobody else around me is crying. Everybody's tough. Everybody's, like strong. And I always thought that I was weak because all I did was cry. I ain't seen none of my family members cry. I didn't see them cry. Everybody was just so tough. But I realized everybody was just surface level. Not tough. They were surface level. Not strong. But I had to be okay with knowing that my greatest gift that God gave me was my emotion, or is my emotion. I have to be okay with that, because you see, these big emotions, they led me to my career path. These big emotions have put me in rooms that I would never thought that little girl never thought that she would ever be in. These emotions, I have to keep reminding myself every day that it's okay to feel, but it's what happened after you feeling. Because either you're going to sit and wallow in those tears, or you're going to get up and do something about it. But we just can't sit and wallow in it all the time. But it's okay to feel. I'm not trapping myself in that thing anymore where I'm like, okay, like it is not okay to feel. It is okay to feel. I'm not disregarding my emotions no more. Like they're a part of being a human being. They're a part of being a person. It is okay. Child, it is okay to feel the way you feel. And I also realized that my emotions were too big for my environment. That's a word. That's a word. Yeah, that's a ooh, how that sound? Mic check. That's a word. My emotions were way too big for the people that I was around, for my environment. My emotion is too big for that. And that's why I can't get mad at my family when we don't see eye to eye in a lot of things, because my emotions too big for that. That don't mean that they can't learn about certain things. That don't mean that they'll never get to certain places. But I'm not gonna sacrifice myself and my peace forcing people to understand things. It's my emotion. That's okay. I don't have to project. I don't have to force it on anyone. But it's too big for my environment. And if you realize that you constantly get emotional around people and they're making you, here I go with the making you, but they making it seem or trying to push that on you, like your emotions are too big or you're overreacting, leave. That's not healthy. You should have people around you that pushes you to get up, do better, but also tell you that it's okay. Girl, I get where you're coming from. Girl, I understand how you, sir, it is okay to feel that way. Boy, it's cool. You supposed to feel that way. Like, what? It's okay to feel that way. Ain't nobody can tell you what to feel. You feel how you feel. You know that situation. You know that experience. You've been there. I never been there. I could try to understand you, but I can't feel you. I can't feel what you feel. So I'm not gonna push my emotion on you. I'm not gonna push my emotion on my opinion on you, because it's your emotion, it's your experience. I'm just here to listen. And I realized that the rooms I've been in, the relationships I've been in, classes, people that I've experienced, these are things that are helping me to reconstruct my emotions. I'm in a very messy journey of building a relationship with my emotion. Like, you know how you have those food coaches? I will call them food coach, but I don't remember what they call themselves. But they'll talk about like reconstructing your relationship with food, having a healthy relationship with food. All those tangible things we do, all these things, go to the gym to have a better relationship with our body, all of those things. Why can't we start having a better relationship with our emotions? Like, I'm working on building a better relationship with my emotion. For so long, I have treated it like it's whatever. I've disliked it, disregarded, don't want to have it, and it's full time. I start embracing it. And that is my boundary, that I want to sit in my emotions. I don't want to wallow. I want people to motivate me to start, okay, you can push past this. But also, I want people around me to understand that if I need to be emotional today, if I need to cry today, let me. That's my boundary. And if you can't accept that, I don't want you around me. And that's cool. I will see y'all next Thursday, because I have something else I want to talk about.
Something about that jazz.